Now, wouldn't be an episode of Spot On with Link Lauren if we didn't talk about the Duke and Duchess of Scamalot, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Okay, they continue to call themselves the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They are clinging to those titles like a clingy ex-boyfriend or a clingy ex-girlfriend. Okay, that's what they're doing. I'm here to tell you, I've spent more time in Sussex than they have. I went to Sussex, I saw, I believe it was the Palace, the Pavilion, I went to the beach is all rocks, but I've spent more time in Sussex than these two little hucksters who don't even want to recognize Sussex Day or their own community, and they continue to accuse basically the British folks of being racist and terrible, and they don't feel safe, and boo-hoo, Mary Lou Who. Okay, this is what's interesting though. A story that has been going around royal circles the past few days. King Charles and Prince Harry's aides were spotted for a secret meeting last week in what is the strongest signal yet that both camps are ready to put an end to their years-long feud. Now, this meeting comes after Prince Harry's BBC interview where he talks about wanting some reconciliation.
I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff. But it would be nice to reconcile.
This is so rich coming from Prince Harry. It's like when a guy cheats on you, makes your life a living hell, and then he comes back a year later. It's like, baby, I'm so sorry. Oh, just let all of that go. Let it all go. Not that I've been there before, but Prince Harry, okay, he did a book, Spare, where he trashed his family. He spoke about intimate personal arguments with his own brother, the future King of England, okay? He did a sit down with Oprah, where he and his wife accused the royal family of racism and talking about their child's skin color with no evidence, no basis in reality. They then did, I believe, a 6-part Netflix docuseries. They've continued to use the family time and time again for fame, fortune, and a couple of clicks, okay, and viewers on their silly little reality shows. So it's rich coming from Prince Harry to say now he wants to have all this reconciliation. You're the one who turned around and screwed your family over, okay? You could have sat there in the castle eating crumpets and scones and going to ribbon cuttings and things would have been hunky-dory. But Prince Harry, this is what you did. This is what you did, and maybe it's because you're allegedly on psychedelics. Maybe it's because you allowed this washed-up, wannabe D-list Hollywood actress to come in and take a wrecking ball to your family. You allowed that to happen. Okay, Meghan Markle, she's culpable, but you as a little beta male allowed a woman with those scrawny little legs to come in and tear your family apart and your familial relationships with your brother. Screw you, Prince Harry. So to come along now and say you want reconciliation is just rich. I think he wants reconciliation because their projects here in the States aren't doing that well. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, now that they've been out of the royal family for 5 years, they're having a hard time generating the volume and velocity of press that they so desire because they're bottomless pits who need constant fame and attention. So let me read you a little bit more about this summit, okay? The Duke and Duchess of Sussex's reps, Meredith Maines and Liam Maguire, were seen sitting down for secret talks with Tobin Andrea, the monarch's communications secretary, the Daily Mail reported. So you've got folks from King Charles' camp meeting up with Harry and Meghan's camp to sit and talk, okay? Now, this is a quote from the article. There's a long road ahead, but a channel of communication is now open for the first time in years, a source told the outlet. There is no formal agenda, just casual drinks. There were things both sides wanted to talk about. Now, the informal meeting took place at the Royal Overseas League, a private members club just minutes from Clarence House. And the trio initially convened on the club's balcony before moving inside for privacy. Here's what I think is really going on. I think they probably texted each other and said, do you want to get together for drinks and vent about these two ridiculous hucksters in California who want to sell jams, jellies, and dog biscuits? I don't think it's much deeper than that. I think they thought, okay, we're in the same city. Let's get together, almost like a therapy session. Raise your hand if you've been victimized by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I have been victimized. And you know Harry and Meghan can't keep their staff, so of course the staff wants to get together and vent, and they'd probably rather work for King Charles because he's real royalty. The staff is probably angling to get back into the monarchy and to work in the palace instead of working with these two little hucksters who have nothing going on. And to say it once again, continue to push jams, jellies, and dog biscuits. So I think that's really what this summit was. Let's get together, let's have drinks. From what I've heard, and I'm sure you guys have heard the same things, Prince William has no intention of really reconciling with his brother. They're fine, they're cordial. William's focused on his kids, his wife's health, his public royal engagements and duties, and the fact that he's going to step into his role as the king someday, okay? That is a weight he carries on his shoulders, and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, does as well. And so Prince Harry, he can go do what he wants, kick up dirt in California. William is focused. And in fact, I think they should be stripped of their titles, Harry and Meghan. They should not be able to call themselves the Duke and Duchess of Sussex anymore. If you've spent about 5 hours in Sussex and you're the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, shame on you. Imagine if I'm, the mayor of Fairview and I've spent 5 hours in Fairview. Something's not clicking, right? Something's not clicking. If you're royalty and you're the Duke and Duchess of some county of Sussex, you should probably go and show up in Sussex. So I think it's interesting Prince Harry wants reconciliation. I'm sure he loves that the press is saying there could be reconciliation, but I don't even think King Charles or William would trust Prince Harry to have a private conversation because Harry goes and repeats everything. Everything ends up in the Daily Mail or People magazine, their go-to, right? Everything ends up out in the press, in a book, in a docuseries. Everything is up for public consumption because Harry and Meghan ostensibly have become wannabe Kardashian reality stars. So Harry and Meghan, I don't see a lot of reconciliation happening. Of course, if King Charles passes away, the day he passes away, maybe he and his brother will rekindle and reconnect, but I am not seeing it.